The most important thing about any meal is local, fresh ingredients to start off with. And that's what Dundurrenheister's doing here in Wyomissing. Every Saturday they have this great setup, little farmer's market going on here. Check out some of this produce, some of the most beautiful tomatoes that I've ever seen. Look at these carrots, unbelievable carrots from Oak Nut Farm. This is all Berks County soil, and that's something you don't see. It's impressive. But the thing that's really getting me is the smell coming from next door. This is Jake. Jake, what's going on here today?
Hey, how we doing, buddy?
Good.
Good to see you. Good to be here. Today we got some of our house-roasted rotisserie turkey that we soaked with some heritage bone broth and did a little bit of turkey with some of our pan drippings. Super simple butter flour roux. You know, that's all that's really in it. We're letting the essence of the turkey really speak for itself here. We also have some Hungarian pickled peppers here. How
long did you pickle that for?
Those were pickled for 2 months after they were brined for a week. So definitely some time took to get those where they needed to go.
But the the finished product is superb.
Oh yeah, flavor really speaks for itself, honestly.
Can you make me something up?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Start with a Conshohocken potato bun. Split that right in half here. And we'll do some of the relish right on the bun, so we don't miss any of that flavor in each bite.
How long does that turkey cook for?
Turkey's cooked, it's slow cooked, depending on weight, honestly. But to keep the turkey super moist, we do one of two things, or two of two things rather. It's brined in a salt, sugar, peppercorn, lemon solution. And what that does is tenderize the proteins in that hearty turkey, that hearty, strong bird. Secondly, we're letting the bird rest when we take it out. That carryover cook time is really what keeps it super moist inside. Combined with that gravy, it's just a great product, super moist. Because the problem with Thanksgiving turkey, it's too dry, it's gritty. This is just made with some great love, made with some time.
Made with love.
Oh yeah, yields a great product.
All right.
So we're gonna add a little bit of our turkey gravy up top here. Do a little bit of that smoked cheddar. I like to split it in half, get that nice first bite, last bite of your sandwich, Good sandwich is consistent from the first bite you take to the last. I'll finish it with a little bit more gravy for you here and let you dig in. There you are, my friend.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep.
Look at this. Look at the gravy dripping down. I'm gonna dig right in here. Can't wait. Oh my. The gravy is liquid gold. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Absolutely.
Liquid gold. The turkey, beautiful flavor. You can tell that it was cooked low and slow. And then you get that taste of the cheddar right in there. It's beautiful. This is unbelievable.
How's that Hungarian pepper feel? Does that refresh your palate a little bit? It's such a rich
Now we're just going
gravy.
into that for my second bite. Very refreshing. A little bit of spice, but it's not overbearing. And that's what's important, because like you said, very refreshing to the palate with that turkey and that cheddar and that gravy. It's unbelievable. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Glad you're enjoying it.
So now we're inside here at D&H. And this is Todd. This is my man Todd. How's it going, Todd?
What's going on, Justin? Thanks for coming in today, bud.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure.
Man. Good Saturday.
Tell me about your story, because it's something beautiful.
Thank you. Hey, look, I grew up in this neighborhood. And when I was a kid, we had this great butcher shop named Banco's. And it was part of a Saturday morning. You get up in the morning, we go with my mom, we go into Banco's, we'd shop for meat. There was a Pennsylvania Dutch butcher named Ray Luckenbill. And he'd hand me over a piece of ring bologna. He would give my mom advice of what cuts, what to make, how long to cook it. And it was an experience, and I think that what we've been lacking in the community is a place where you can you go on a Saturday morning, you get up, get a cup of coffee, go visit Sean outside, and you come in and see us, see familiar faces. It's about connections and finding a sense of community.
It's a beautiful thing. Can we see some stuff that you do here?
You got it. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going today.
That's great. It's a Saturday here at D&H. Walk me through what you do on your normal day. Let's go. Come on.
So we're going back in our kitchen, and as a whole animal butcher, the kitchen is an incredibly important place because the tenet is that you don't want to waste any aspect of the animal, and the traditions of of our roots here, waste not, want not. So the kitchen is where magic happens because we're relying upon the chefs and the cooks to come up with something. Everything is fresh, but don't waste anything. So today, I think Mark is here. He's we're taking butts out of the smoker on Saturday morning, right, for a special order.
Yes, sir. So right here we have done a couple of our heritage smoked pork butts.
Smell that hickory?
The smell is unbelievable.
So in here we smoke about 18 hours at a very low temperature, so our product comes out as tender as possible. So these babies have been in there again 18 hours. They're going to be fall off the bone tender, smoked with 100% hickory to get that deep smoky flavor to it. And it is our heritage chops, so they have a little bit more fat to it, a little bit more marbling going throughout the animal, so you're just going to have such a juicy, succulent piece of meat. So these guys,
We wanted you to be a part of this because this is one of our favorite parts on Saturdays. Pulling this apart, and it's the best. Look at that.
So glad I'm here. That is unbelievable.
We're going to give you the first taste.
And you don't even need a knife for this.
Oh my
this thing
God.
just falls apart.
Are you kidding me?
There you go, my friend.
And again, this is heritage
Enjoy.
pork, so this is
Talk to
all
me about that heritage.
Yeah, it's
pork.
all about flavor. So we want to, there's a major movement in our country that we want to be promoting heritage hogs. And why? Because they're going away, and if that would happen, you lose that flavor you're experiencing right now. That's heritage. That's a Tamworth, Ossabaw, and Berkshire hog. And we do that because one, it's kind of a flavor of home, but it's off the charts in terms of like a flavor profile, in terms of the creaminess. Everything melts in your mouth, but it takes the hickory smoke really well.
I've never tasted pork like that in my entire life.
Especially right out of the smoke.
Right out of the smoker. The flavors are unbelievable. What's the rub you got on there? Any specific sort of rub?
It's just one of our crazy concoctions that we come up with. It's a little bit of paprika, thyme, onion, and it's just, I can't reveal any more of that because of the people at home. I'm sorry.
Sleep one seasoning out there.
But it's got a little bit of sweet, savory notes to it that just bring this heritage pork to life.
All right, well, we're gonna have to end the show here because I'm just gonna finish. Oh my goodness, I can't even speak.
Rock,
Unbelievable, guys.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Out of this world. This is beautiful stuff.
All right, thank you, man. Oh, great having you in here.
So what's next? Where are we going next?
We're gonna head out to the butcher table, show what we do on a Saturday in terms of doing some custom cuts for our customers. It's a community thing. Mark will be on the table with some of our members of the staff, and they'll be interacting with customers and filling orders.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
All right. So this is the backbone of our business here, is the butchery table, the communal butchery table, where Mark is always working with some of the other butchers, or we're doing some training. This is where the magic happens, because at the end of the day, this is the lost art.
Right.
This is what many of us were yearning for in terms of when you go to a supermarket, where's the butcher?
Right.
Where's the advice? Help me make a meal. Show me what to do with that beautiful meat. And so Mark's working the table. Saturday, you've been doing customer orders, right?
All day.
And so, but you're gonna do something pretty special here at D&H, which is our dry aged beef, right?
Yep, so this right here is a 4-week dry aged ribeye. It has the dried out outside, which is that mold which we need to remove. But what happens in this process is we are actually adding tenderness to the product, and we are adding so much flavor. You're losing moisture, concentrating the beef, enzymes are breaking down, proteins are loosening up, and it's just gonna make for a much more better eating experience for sure.
Sick of that yellow fat.
Right. So when you go to the grocery store, you're normally going to find some meat with the fat white. So tell me what's the difference here? Why is the fat more of like a creamy yellow opposed to the white that you see in the supermarket?
Yeah, so all of our beef is 100% grass-fed, grass-finished. So that's where it's eating from the land, it's eating from the earth. It's not being pumped full of grains and hormones and antibiotics. It is just what cows do and what cows eat, and they're going out and they're eating and just grazing on pasture, and until they hit the table.
Any sort of safety precautions you have to go through before you get into this?
Yeah, so working with big animals and big pieces of meat, I wear chainmail actually, and that will protect me from any slips with the knife. My knife's over here, so I hold the knife differently than you would a chef's knife. So I do a lot of pulling towards me, and then if I hit a bone or if I hit a loose pocket, I can easily take a swipe and hit myself in the stomach. So this just prevents anything bad from happening.
All right.
Yeah.
Want to get into it?
Sure.
Go ahead.
This is
Work
the
your
best part
magic.
what we do. This is the magic right here.
Bring it over to the bandsaw. We're going to take the chine bone off, which is the spine, to kind of open it up for my next cut.
So like you said, that just opened it up for you, right?
Yep, so when I bring it back to the table, I'm going to remove these feather bones.
Okay.
And there's a little piece of meat up here called the decal, which just helps in the dry aging process, keeping that nice yellow, kind of creamy fat to that product.
Right.
So I don't have to trim it off. So I'll show you guys that. And again, this is 4 weeks aged.
Wow. Look at the marbling on that.
You can see the chainmail plays a very important role here.
Absolutely, it does. So how long have you been doing this?
This, about 6 years now. I've been working with whole animal probably 5, but I've worked at other butcher shops. Long time. And again, this piece of meat that I'm taking off, it's just a little bit extra we leave on to add this nice white fat
Yeah.
that you see here, so we don't need to take off during the dry aging.
Right.
Because if we left this exposed, this would be the same color as that right there, and then I'd have to take all that beautiful fat off, and that's not fair to the customer.
No.
way.
Now fat gets a bad rap for itself.
Yeah, right.
Now what's the importance of actually having good fat on a piece of meat?
Fat is flavor.
Yeah.
So it's kind of balancing flavor with, getting to the meat. For us, a lot of it is people are averse to fat. They've read a lot of books saying, no animal fat. I think that really depends on what the animal ate.
Right.
So if the animal was raised on pasture, getting all that goodness, it's much different in terms of content, and so we believe that fat is okay. Fat is actually good. We don't like to use the word fat. We use marbling. Marbling, because everybody wants to eat marbling. And people don't want to eat fat, right? Yeah. Fat is flavor, and so that's why people like. There are other leaner cuts, right? So, but for many people, they like the ribeye. That's going to have a little more marbling to it. So it depends on what the consumer wants.
Don't listen to what you read. Fat is flavor.
Right.
So I'm gonna take, you can see that aged right there. So I'm gonna take the bandsaw, take this piece of beef back to the bandsaw and just trim that up. And then you'll be able to see what a beautiful dry aged piece of beef looks like.
All right, I'm excited.
Bring this guy back over. So what I do next is this little bit of bone dust is what we call it.
Right.
So the bandsaw will rip through the bone and rip through some of the meat and create this kind of pasty-like substance, and then you just wipe it away. If you leave that on, it'll burn and be bitter, but for that, do a little trimming. Just get rid of some of that age.
This is an art.
And then from there, you have a beautiful aged ribeye.
That is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Now, of course, all this is in front of the customer, right?
Right.
So we have customers here, they can watch this happen, they can look on the mirror anywhere in the store. We want to celebrate this beautiful art, this almost dying art. We want to celebrate that every day.
Everything's visual.
Exactly.
It brings it to the customer. People can see what they're getting, how it's getting cut, right in front of them.
It's not just a vacuum sealed piece of beef
Right.
on the shelf that you have no idea how it got there.
Right.
You see exactly where it comes in, how it's processed, put on the table, wrapped up, out the door.
Mark, you do great work.
Thank you, sir.
You do great work.
Before we head outside, one more thing.
All right.
Yes, Justin, I think the idea is that we really want to have our store the best of what our region has to offer.
Yeah.
You know, we spent a lot of time visiting with local craftspeople that are someone that's doing that exact great product. We want to feature it. We have items that you can't find anywhere else. Unique, everything, and we want to make it convenient. So I think we want to be a one-stop shop. So it's just not about cuts, but it's also prepared meals. We have amazing sides that you can make a meal. We mentioned earlier about our line of clean deli meat, sausages, bacon, snack sticks, our jerky is second to none, and then of course we have our heritage pork, our chicken. And I think the more important thing, as you saw earlier on the butchery table, I mean, we want to have something that's reminiscent of a simpler time.
Yeah.
And I told
Taking
you
it back to the old days.
in the beginning about my inspiration as my family in terms of Banco's and
Yep.
kind of that whole sense of you walk into a place and someone knows your name and you're given exceptional customer service. I think that's missing, and that's what my wife and I wanted to bring back to the community.
Well, you're doing it, and it was a pleasure. I have some vegetables to get outside before I head out.
Ballpark's out there, yeah.
Yeah.
You got the ballparks.
Thank you.
course,
This has been
yeah.
amazing. What you have here is absolutely beautiful, and keep up the
All right.
Thanks,
you.
Todd.
Thanks for coming
Thank
in.
you.
All right.
Appreciate it. Well, that does it for this episode of Bites of Berks. Thanks to D&H for letting us come in and see what they're all about. I'm Justin Choate. See you next time.